Hello, everybody. Lisa from Lisa Augustine Glasier Coaching and your host here at EnergieGal Podcast, where storyteller and listener gather to share, laugh, cry, feel, heal, and transform. We're raw, real, and uncensored. Sometimes we may be too much, but we don't care. We're sucking the marrow out of the bone of this life and remaining unapologetic. Authenticity and vulnerability are huge surfboards on the ocean of life. So grab yours because we're riding the wave and we are so jazzed to have you join us. So today is February 1st of 2022 and it is episode 1. This is our Maiden Voyage.
This is my first podcast experience. So.
This is my first podcast experience as far as it being in one. And I'll be honest with you, we're not exactly sure what we're doing, but we're just going with the flow. So our guest in the house today is someone who I know extremely well. Maybe I know him better than anybody else. He certainly knows me better than anybody else on the planet. He's kind. He's generous. He's hilarious. He's kind of quirky.
And she gives me more credit than I deserve. So.
I don't know about that. And he is extremely encouraging to all the different ideas I've had over the years for, hey, why don't we try this? I think this would be a good idea. And he would say, how can I help you make this happen? So when I came to him and I said, I've got this idea for a podcast where storyteller and listener come together and they unpack, he said, how can I help you make that happen? And I said, as it happens to be, you could be my first guest because I'm really nervous and I don't know what I'm doing.
Here I am.
Yes, he is none other than Stephen Glasier. Thanks for coming and helping me today.
I'm glad.
Now, listen, normally the guest isn't going to be sitting right next to me. We'll be doing it via Zoom, and I'll have my headphones and the microphone. But this man here, not a techie.
I'm anti-tech.
He is.
I'm a hammer and nails kind of guy.
He's a hammer and nails kind of guy. It works for us. Yeah. You have a phone, right?
I do.
It's a flip phone.
It is.
And it doesn't do texting.
Nope, but we can actually have a conversation on it. You know, we actually talk with a voice.
Talk with a voice. He doesn't do the texting thing, and
So
he doesn't need pictures and everything else. So, but I told him, let's not do it across the room. Let's sit right next to each other. And so that's why this is the way this is being presented this time. So, gosh, I guess my heart is to post once a week, getting together with certain people, some of them in the beginning, of course, that I know, and some people that I don't know. But I don't know, we were talking about what the heart is behind this whole EnergieGal podcast thing. And I think you get it, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of excited to see who you're going to be talking to. She's already told me a couple of people that she's going to be talking to. And, one of the things that just rings true is that everybody has a story. And I think that it's important for people to share things, whether it's knowledge or their actual, personal story, so that we don't feel all alone in things. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while you see something or you read something and you connect with it because whoever's speaking has a certain degree of empathy because they've been there and they've been through it. Right. And some of the people that she's going to be talking to have some pretty cool stories and some things that they're very passionate about, which they can share. Right. And someone out there is going to be listening to it and be like, oh, I'm not the only one who feels that way or has going through this kind of a thing.
Right. So. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I think that is where I'm coming from. And I think that I know that a lot of the healing that I've done in my life was through listening to people's stories. For just shy of 30 years, I was a personal coach, fitness trainer. And I remember oftentimes thinking that I was the only one who'd experienced whatever it is that I was going through, whether it was disordered eating, anxiety, difficulties in childhood and on from there, raising children with some difficulties and stuff. And I remember thinking I'm all alone in this. And one of the things that began to happen as I went from being a group fitness instructor down to a little bit more personalized is that I would listen to people's stories as we were counting crunches, as I would call it, counting crunches. And boy, I'll tell you, the stories moved me, and it really opened up my whole world, and it opened up my heart and helped me recalibrate some of the thoughts in my brain that I thought, okay, so much of what I've been going through is the journey itself, is part of life. It's not the bad part of life. It is life. And rather than running away from it or numbing out from it, I chose to turn around, face it, embrace it, sit with it, befriend it, and lo and behold, realized some real deep healing. And so I just want to share that with others, because I think that we're coming into a frequency on the earth when these communities can crop up, can gather up and around each other and help each other through difficult times by nothing more fancy than their story, unpacking their personal story. And I think a thing I really like about stories is that they're not right or wrong. Your story can't be right or wrong. It's your story. And the way you unpack it and the way that you interpret it and the way that you interface with it and such, that's yours. It's your precious thing that you're sharing with the world. And not that I think that it's okay that we go through the things that we go through, because there's a story at the end of it. But heck, as long as we went through what we did, why don't we take the story from it? And I think I was just writing a blog this morning, and it said something like, I think Maya Angelou said something like, as soon as you realize that you're healed, turn around and offer your story to heal somebody else. And isn't that what the heart of this EnergieGal podcast is about? Now, listen, it's not all going to be sadness and tears. You don't have to cry today.
Okay. I got nothing to cry about. I'm good.
But sometimes we're just going to laugh. I can imagine a few of the people that'll have them on a few times because we have such a history, and I know they have so much to share. And some of the people who have agreed to be on already, they just have some exciting news to be able to share. And so I want to offer them a platform to be able to unpack that. So that's the heart of what we're doing. We're almost done. So before we go, I wanted us to answer a few questions. Okay, so.
I was not prepared. I'll wing it here. I got an answer for everything.
So, okay. Are you a salty, crunchy, or a sweet? That's not fair, is it?
I would lean more towards sweet, probably.
Okay.
But I still like my salty, crunchy.
You
so
do.
A little more towards sweet.
All right. What do you think I am?
Salty, crunchy.
Definitely a salty, crunchy. If there's chocolate in the house, who's more likely to eat it?
Definitely me.
Absolutely. Okay, so what would be your favorite time to get up in the morning?
My favorite time to get up would be around 7.
Yes, I knew that.
Yeah.
Favorite time to go to bed?
10, right around 10, maybe 11.
I was going to say 11,
Yeah.
but maybe if you crawled in bed at 10
I
and
want to
then read
read
for a while.
before I go to sleep.
I
So
knew you would
give me
say
45 minutes to read before I fall asleep.
Exactly.
There you go.
Now, do you sleep on your side, on your back, face down?
Face down.
You're a face
As
down.
much as possible.
Yeah. How do I sleep?
You're all over the place. She's at one end of the bed and this end of the bed.
I'm like running a marathon while I sleep. You never know where I am.
There is no standard position. So.
It's true. Okay, so tell me one of your very favorite memories that we've had together.
One of my favorite memories. Just because it makes me laugh. If I ever want to laugh, I think about the time we went on a cruise, and it was our first time off the boat, and we went snorkeling. Well, she had a whole lot of rum punch on the way home, and we were pretty trashed.
I don't know this story.
By the time we got back to the boat, I was worried they weren't going to let us get back on the boat. We were a little bit loud, and we just couldn't stop laughing. And we're standing in line to get back on the boat, which they're very formal to have to check your ID and everything. And she was trashed, but it was so much fun, and we laughed so much.
We did have a good time on that cruise.
We had a good time on that cruise, and especially on that time out on the boat, the guy caught the fish and stuff.
Yeah.
That was a fun day.
That was a really good time. Yeah. And just so that you're aware, I thought it was punch. I did not understand rum punch and what it could do to me. And there you go. If I had to share a favorite memory, it almost always would revolve around a particular place. Where do you think that is?
Probably Allegheny State Park.
Yep.
Cabin 24.
Cabin 24, because we took the kids.
I would have almost picked that one.
Yeah, I know. That was second, right? But do you remember going and a couple of times without the kids? And it was so different.
Very different. Very different.
Yeah. Yes. It made me appreciate what we did have with them all the better.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad I made those photo albums.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
I'm not a big picture taker, but every vacation every summer, we would go on vacation and we would take the 5 kids with us until there were 4 and then 3 and then 2. And then we take Alicia just one time?
And then James come and got her and took her away halfway through the week. And I was left. No kids.
My goodness sakes. Oh, yeah. We miss those times in the midst of them. I loved him in the midst of it. You know, it was sometimes overwhelming with 5, but it was always good.
Yeah, you were never bored.
Never bored.
Never alone.
Oh, never alone. Oh, my goodness. And so, yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say, but it was...
Favorite memory.
Allegheny State Park definitely would be up there for sure. And it just made me appreciate all the more the experience. Oh, I know what I was going to say is that I'm not a big picture taker, but I always took a lot of pictures when we went on our vacation that one week. And then on Thanksgiving Day, you would go hunting and I would get out all the pictures.
And the kids would help you.
Yeah, the kids, it was when scrapbooking was all the thing. And the kids would each get a page and some pictures. And oh my goodness. So not only do they have the pictures, but it's the pictures with their personalities put into it. And then we'd put it into a photo album and give it to Dad for Christmas.
That's right.
So simple memories like that.
That's right.
Some of the other memories I have would be picking out a Christmas tree.
Yep. That's
The
always
kids
an adventure.
loved doing that.
Yep.
We always had to get a big fat one.
Gotta be fat.
Because we had that nook to put it in.
Yep.
The fatter the better, because I think the kids thought that if it's bigger and fatter,
you can fit more under it.
More under it.
That's the theory. It worked.
It has so far, even as they're adults. So, favorite color?
Mine? I'm going to lean towards green.
And I lean towards blue. But if you wanted blue, I would take green. So we'll figure it out. Do you prefer the beach or the mountains? Again, not fair, but it's 49-51.
You know, I got to go half and half. I enjoy some time on the beach. I wouldn't want to live on a beach, but I got to have some beach time every once in a while. But I probably prefer the mountains living-wise.
Right. So we could live in the mountains
That's right.
and go visit at the beach.
Visit the beach.
Which would be what? Less than an hour away. We can make that happen.
You can do that, sure.
Yeah. So, see?
There you go.
We work. It works. Gosh, I'm trying to think. I know people are going to look at us and be like, oh, they're just so sweet together. They probably never get angry at each other. And is that the truth?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be anger. Very rarely do we get really angry at each other. I think that both of us, part of our personality is both of us are unselfish. And I think if you get 2 unselfish people together, it makes things a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
If one is selfish and the other one isn't, or you know, but I think that's a lot of it.
Yeah.
So,
I thought you were going to say sensitive.
Oh, we're both kind of a little oversensitive. So it's a miracle that there aren't more tears probably. Anyway.
I would be devastated if he got his feelings hurt. And so, not that we're not truthful, but we're just very gentle when we do say things.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and we're hilarious. Like the other day, what'd you say? You're sitting down and we were about ready to take Gia for her walk. And you said, God, I can only hope.
I was jealous of your nails. He
was jealous of my nails.
Yeah.
He's like, and what color is that?
kind of a mauve.
A mauve. I was
Yeah.
like, dude,
Hey, I
dude
know
with
my
the hammer
colors.
and nail got his colors down.
I know the
No one's
chakra
going to
colors.
mention you do. He knows all the chakras.
I'm getting there.
See how your world has opened up.
That's right.
And I know more about painting that I don't want to know that I'll just leave to you. No, I was going to talk about how you were hoping that the gum wrapper was still on the counter.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, every time you take out a piece of gum, you put the gum wrapper on the counter rather than in the trash can. And I was like, well.
It's my job as I walk by to pick it up off the counter. Boom, in the trash can.
See? It works. It works.
I have my stuff I leave around too, and she takes care of it. So.
You know the little rubber bands with the newspaper?
Those come in handy sometimes.
And the plastic bags that the newspapers come in?
Those come in handy too, you know. I put my paintbrushes in those.
I know. I would have to say that we're probably a little more minimalistic in heart.
Yeah.
I mean, having 5 kids makes it be a little difficult.
Yeah. Sometimes less is better.
Mm-hmm. But I also think that we like to reuse what we can.
Mm-hmm. As much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just look at my barn. I don't throw things away because I know I'm going to reuse it sometime. So hang on to it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I learned a lot from this guy. Just because something is broken doesn't mean you throw it out and you get something new. You look at it and you see if you can try to fix it. So that's kind of the way we've lived things, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is our story for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been our honor, dear listener. Remember that you also have a story to share, for we are all both teller and listener. Something magical happens, alchemizing, when we open our hearts to listen, when others open their hearts to storytell. It's like this mystical bond that connects us into community through this ancient holy practice of sharing. Somehow we become knit together, or maybe we just wake up and remember that we already are one, and we are loved. So till next time, laugh loudly. I got that down pretty good.
Yeah.
Love deeply. I think we got that down pretty good. Hug daily, because life is meant to be experienced fully. And now, what will you do with this one wild and precious life? Peace. You know, I heard your tummy grumbling.
I haven't had dinner yet.
And just so you're aware, he likes first breakfast, second breakfast, lunch. Is there a second lunch?
No, but there's a snack at 2:30.
There's a snack at 2:30. And then dinner.
Gotta have dinner.
And then always an after dinner snack.
Oh.
And then right before bed,
a piece of dark chocolate.
couple pieces of dark chocolate.
Some orange juice.
I can set a clock by him.
It's the spot.
He's easy, and incredibly good looking.
Yeah.
I win.
Took a while to get all this to the first right here. Don't happen on its own.
So if you want to know more about me, my coaching offerings, and my book journals, you can find me at lisaaugustineglacier.online, where I offer spiritual guidance for higher vibrational living, as well as share a daily blog and sell 30-day journals based upon a specific topic that bring awareness and healing to your body, mind, heart, and ultimately raise your vibration, because everything is energy. You can also reach me at EnergieGalPodcast.online. I'm going to ask that if you enjoy the content that I am sharing with you here, if you would please like the podcast or like the YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, and make comments, and please feel free to share. I want to share these conversations with the world. If there's someone you would like me to welcome into the house as a guest, as a person who tells their story, dear listener, well, please let me know. Message me, and I'll see what I can do. And finally, thank you so much again and again for your presence and participation here at EnergieGal Podcast, where storyteller and listener meet for transformational conversations. I ask you, what will you do with this one wild and precious life? Let's talk about it.